attorneys that do the bulk of that 20,000 cases. And it's a lot. There's a lot of different things that we throw at them and that we ask them to do. And we do educate them and train them on these diversion programs. We ask them to be diligent in screening for them. But, this afternoon, we have some people in trial. Everybody's got court assignments. And at some point we have to find an hour or two to screen our cases. And you're trying to be efficient. And sometimes I think our attorneys just, they can't remember everything. And so one of the goals with the diversion coordinator, again, is we have our criteria, and our diversion coordinator can apply that. And so we're going to be having her go through all of these cases and screen for eligibility, because I do think that there are some cases that we have missed where people could have been offered that and they weren't. And that's one of the things we hope to correct with this. And we also hope that by having her proactively, if there's phone numbers, call these defendants and have a conversation, explain what it is, the benefits. We're hoping to see increased participation. So I think maybe in a year from now, when she's been on the job for 10 months, we will come here and see that has had a real positive result. But that's why we converted one of our open positions into this new position, because we saw a real need for it, that we just need to really focus and try to get the word out that these programs are out there. They're beneficial for everyone, and try to do what we can to encourage that participation. As far as charging, I kind of echo what DC Arredondo said. Susan Siegel and myself, as the city attorney and the criminal deputy, I mean, we demand that our attorneys act at the highest ethical standard. And we expect that, and we get that from our attorneys. And that comes with not only with how they charge the cases, but how they proceed. And it is our goal to treat everyone fair. And some of the ways that we've tried to help with that is we have an internal work product policy and procedures manual where we have sat down and we've laid out some charging guidelines. We've laid out negotiation guidelines. And, it can't be a cookie cutter, because everyone is different. And we can't just say, if it's this and this, then this is the sentence, because that's not how the real world works. But we have tried to set up some parameters so that we are treating everyone the same. So we know these are the parameters for charging this type of offense, and it doesn't matter what the racial makeup of the defendant is or their age. And I believe we're very successful, and I think we are consistent in treating people fairly. Obviously, there is some discretion involved, but I feel very confident to say, from a charging standpoint and a negotiation standpoint, because I review our files, we are being consistent in the goals that we've set, and that people are, treating everyone the same. And obviously, the prosecutorial discretion plays a lot of role in it. And it is just because we can only look at what the offense is and their criminal history, and then their attorney, public defender, or private will come present. We could have a person who maybe it's their 30th consuming in public, but they finally got through treatment and they're sober for 6 months. I'm not going to give that person the same type of sentence I would give them based on their criminal history, because they've finally taken a positive step. They're moving forward. And so their sentence is going to be a lot lighter based on what you would expect the record. And that's the way the system should work, is we get that information, we factor it in, and we hopefully give a fair result.
Councilmember Gordon, I'm going to go to Councilmember Reich, and I'll come back to you. Okay, Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm sure this activity is already taking place, but to reinforce the value of our partners out there. So in terms of, if there's a value in the diversion program, sometimes it's best to have a third party, be it an advocacy group, a guidance counselor. I remember the county sponsored the African American Men's Project. I don't think that particular program exists, but I'm sure there's something like it. And sometimes that has a lot of value in terms of how an opportunity is received as an opportunity when it's coming from that outside source on the ground. And also just to have people out there working on behalf of our goals, just the manpower advantage of that. And I think even as council members and leaders in the community to talk to our folks to make sure the word gets out. Here's an opportunity. People should know about it, value it, and take advantage of it.
Yes, I agree.
If I could, Chair Yang, Councilmember Wright's point, absolutely right. And so we're working with groups such as Emerge and others to really get their feedback and input in terms of how we can make the diversion process and program work well. And I do have to commend City Attorney Hang and certainly City Attorney Siegel for their work on that in terms of seeking some good community input as to how that works. So,
Councilmember Gordon.
Yeah, so I think this is a great start too, and I really appreciate all the extra work that went into this. And I say a start because now hopefully we can collect data on an annual basis and we can kind of track this and look for trends and be on top of it. And we'll have a good baseline to work off of. I do know that the staff direction also had a second part where we were looking for recommendations having to do with collecting information about stops. I understand that the Police Conduct Oversight Commission is also working on the same thing, and I believe that the department is developing or responding to those recommendations. I sort of just want to close the loop on that and make sure that we get that information back to the committee, if that's really what's happening, or what work we're doing around that, and how can we still be involved.
Yes, Chair Yang, Councilmember Gordon. Yes, so we are working on being able to document and track for the first time Terry stops, Terry frisk, which are really investigatory detentions and searches. I was able to speak recently at the last Police Conduct Oversight Commission meeting to give them an update regarding where our progress is. We are working with our IT folks to ensure that officers utilizing their mobile digital computers, if they are on a investigatory detention search of a person or vehicle, that before they can clear that call, they will have to log in the individual's race, gender, the location, but also most importantly, they will have to provide comments regarding the basis and the reason for the stop. I've worked with Assistant City Attorney Pete Ginder on policy for that. In terms of the IT, we're looking at hopefully going live by the end of this year, where we'll be able to start doing that. So I'd be more than happy to, at some point in time, report back through the chair to the committee once we have that up and going. But and we've also, obviously, besides the PCOC, this is something that ACLU has also recommended as well. And other cities, quite honestly, other law enforcement agencies across the country are really trying to track that. That will help. Chief Harto has talked about the transparency and building that trust and legitimacy. And if we can start being able to track those specific investigatory detentions and searches, I think that'll be moving us in a right step forward in terms of that transparency with the community.
That sounds wonderful, and I'm assuming that you are working with the city attorney's office and making sure to communicate with that, as we directed you both to work together kind of on this. And I look forward to hearing more about that. I just want to kind of note that while we talk about implicit bias and we're concerned about the whole system, I think it's important to remember maybe that we all share some responsibility, but nobody, we're not trying to point the finger at anybody. So at least that's my hope, is we can get information and we can all think about it together. A lot of times, somebody's first interaction with the police actually has to do with another citizen or another resident or something like that. So it's a big system, and we're all inside of it, and we're just seeing how we can move it and fix it.
To Councilmember Gordon's point, we'll go back to look at the staff direction. If there's anything missing, we'll let you both know. But thank you so much. Really appreciate the efficiency in the presentation. Really appreciate the information here. And we'll go back, take a look at it. And if we need any sort of meetings, we'll do it offline. But thank you for the presentation. I understand the city clerk will post it online as well. So thank you very much.
Yes. And Mr. Chair and council members, as you drill down and drill through the data, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Ms. Siegel or myself. We're more than happy to meet with you or talk to you about it further as you get a chance to kind of go through it and digest it.
Thank you. So, council members, is there any question or discussion? None? Okay. I will move to receive and file items number 2 and 3 of the discussion. Any discussion on those 2 items? All right, seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye. 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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And seeing that there is no more business before us, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.